All right, you guys, today we are going over homeschool planning for next year. This is a collaboration hosted by myself and Devine over at Calm the Chaos Homeschool. I'm going to go ahead and link the playlist down below in the description bar in case you guys want to check it out when you're done. Go see how everybody is planning their next homeschool year and the things that they're considering, and maybe you can get some great ideas from those videos. To start, I have no idea what I am doing for next year. I am just trying to survive this year. It's been a doozy. There's been a lot of things that have been challenging this year. Let's just start with my preschooler. I have no idea what I'm going to do for him for kindergarten. Right now, he is currently making his way through the master books kindergarten math. Just because I feel like it's more preschool type math. So I think I will probably get him the first grade math to do for kindergarten, and maybe he'll just always be a year above. I don't know. As far as the language arts goes, I'm planning on using All About Reading, the pre-reading level with him. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do as far as, I don't know, like a language arts. I don't know if I'm going to, I really like the Gentle and Classical Press preschool set that we're using right now. So I'm not sure if maybe I'll look and see what they have available for kindergarten and maybe just stick with them until he gets to about first or second grade. Or if maybe I will just use the kindergarten book that Master Books has. I don't really feel like that's language arts. I feel like it's more just teaching them like about the world and, you know, like their environment, which isn't a bad thing. I don't know what to do with him yet. It's funny, I feel like no matter how seasoned you get, like you have certain things that you're like, yep, I will most likely always use this. And then other things you're just like, I'm not sure. And I feel like kindergarten is one of those grades where I'm like, I want it to be fun, but I also want it to be, you know, like a play-based learning, but I also want to challenge him. I don't know, it's this weird mix of emotions. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I'm not really a fan of the Good and the Beautiful, like their language arts, so I won't be using that. But I did like their math for at least like, you know, the kindergarten, first grade ages, so I don't know. We'll see. It kind of just depends. I have to figure things out soon. All right, now for my fourth grader, I don't really plan on changing too much for her. I have come to realize that if it's not broken, don't fix it. So she's going to continue with Apologia Math and Master Books Math. She seems to do really well in those, and they just kind of bounce off of each other and really solidify the points, and she just gets that little extra practice. For language arts, she's doing well in master books, but I do feel like she just needs a little extra. So I'll probably do master books and then do what I'm doing this year and working in some Evan Moore workbooks. So right now she's using grammar and punctuation, which we will probably continue. And then I just recently worked in reading comprehension. And that book is really great. It has like a little section that teaches you about whatever details you're learning about. It has you read the paragraph, and then it has you answer questions. It's very to the point, and it's not filled with fluff, and I feel like it complements master books really well because it's not anything that is just so rigorous and taking her so long that she's getting overwhelmed by it. Next year, though, I will be adding in some form of spelling. I'm not sure if I'm going to look at an Evan Moore workbook for that, or if I'm going to use Phonetic Zoo from IEW. I feel like she just needs something because master books isn't, it's not very repetitious when it comes to the spelling words, and so, you know, by the time she's really getting them, she's moving on to the next week, and it's just not anything that is just sticking with her. And so I feel like she just needs something that's a little bit more consistent than what Master Books is giving her. She is also using All About Reading Level 3 right now. She's going to be finishing up that, I would say, in the next month, so then she'll be moving on to Level 4. I would anticipate us finishing level 4 this year, but that might bleed into next year to some degree. But overall, she's going to be finished with reading. And think that's it for her. Now for my 7th grader, he is using IEW Structure and Style. He is also using Fix-It Grammar and Phonetic Zoo for his language arts. And then I also have him in a cursive handbook from Cursive Logic. And then both my soon-to-be 4th grader and my soon-to-be 8th grader are both working on handwriting from The Good and the Beautiful. I like that. It's just something that keeps their brain sharp in writing nicely, and they're constantly practicing good penmanship. So I might continue them both in handwriting. I'm not quite sure on that yet, but I love everything for him for language arts. I do not plan on changing anything. We will continue with Structure and Style from IEW. We will continue with Fix-It Grammar. I believe next year, I want to say he'll be on the last book or the second to last book of Fix-It Grammar. So we're going to stick with that, and he's just going to continue making his way through Phonetic Zoo until he finishes it out completely. As far as math, I'm not sure. Now, the only thing that I might change about language arts is IEW does offer classes from instructors, which one of my friends uses and has praised so highly. And so I'm really considering putting my son in one of those classes just so I kind of take some of the work off my plate. He'll have somebody who can edit his papers, give corrections, and then he turns the final draft back into that teacher, and I don't have to deal with any, of the frustrations of, oh, well, you forgot to add your because clause, or you forgot a second who which clause, or whatever the case may be. Now, as far as math, I don't know what I'm going to do for him. Right now he's using Master Books, Principles of Mathematics, Book 1. They do have a Book 2, and then it goes into high school math. I'm not sure if I want to stick with the Book 2, because my goal was to stick with the Book 2, and then once he got to high school, put him in Denison math. I'm not sure if I want to stick with that plan, or if I just want to put him in Denison math. He has kind of a love-hate relationship with the Principles of Mathematics, and so I'm not quite sure what I want to do with that yet. I do feel like the videos help to some degree, but I feel like the videos from Denison will help more. They're highly rated. Everybody seems to love them for high school math. But my only thing is I don't want to start him in that too soon, and then I'm struggling to figure out what to use for his senior year, or he's in some ridiculously high math that he doesn't need, or, I want to be wise with that decision. So I'm still making my way through what I'm going to do for his math class. Top of my head, I think that that's everything for their independent subjects. As far as group subjects, we have been using Master Books, Zoology for Science. We've been doing the Bible recap for kids, and we're going to be starting Mystery of History Volume 2. Just because the Tuttle Twins history did not work out for us, I didn't care for it. So, since we're starting Volume 2 of Mystery of History in the middle of the year, we're just going to carry that on most likely for next year. I mean, assuming that we still like it and, there's nothing that, makes us not like it. So we'll stick with that. I don't think there will be any changes there. We're really loving the Bible recap for kids. That one is so great, and we have some really great conversations from it, and it's not anything that feels overwhelming or feels like this takes an hour and a half to do. So we're going to stick with that. I also like that we're going little by little through the Bible each and every day that we do it. As far as science, I haven't even explored what science to use. You guys recommended some really great ones last year, but I'll have to probably go back to that video and see, assuming I can find which video I was getting all the recommendations on, and I'll have to just weigh all my options. But so far we really like the Master Book Science, so I might just stick with that. I'm thinking of doing an anatomy science with them, maybe a human body science curriculum with them. just because we haven't really touched on that topic for science yet. So I'm probably going to do that. As far as extracurriculars go, I have planned so many extracurriculars over the years that, and then, you know, the year gets busy and it falls to the wayside, and then basically co-op classes end up being our extracurriculars. So I'm not going to plan any for next year. I'm just not. We're going to focus on what they actually need to know. And that's it. I'm going to just be okay with not having that, because if we do want to do an extracurricular, I have all of these curriculums in our homeschool space that I can just pull from. I think over the summer, that is probably when we're going to dive a lot more into the Beautiful Feet books, art appreciation and music appreciation studies that we have. Those are such beautiful curriculums, and we've done a few lessons, but we haven't been able to stick with it consistently just because life. And so that's basically my plan, is we're just going to knock those things out during the summer. We'll do some like fun, lighthearted learning and maybe take some trips to the museum. But other than that, I'm just sticking to the basics next year. If the last 2 or 3 years have taught me anything, is that I keep shooting for the moon, which is not a bad thing, but I keep overextending myself in the process, and I'm just not going to do that next year. I'm not. I'm going to stick with language arts, math, history, science, and Bible, and call it a day, because I am homeschooling 3 different kids in 3 different grades, and I've got a baby in tow who is probably going to start doing her own version of some preschool work, just learning how to count and, you know, her letters and all of that. But I'm going to make my box and I'm going to stick in it, and I'm not going to overdo it. Now, I will be trying again to join a co-op. I'm hoping that the one that we joined this semester that ended up saying that they weren't going to be having classes this semester because they had mold in the classrooms. I'm hoping that they will be squared away come the fall, that they will have a new location and that they will be offering classes. And then you know, the kids can get their extracurriculars from the co-op like we have in the past. If not, I have found a drop-off program for my son. I'm not sure if I'll use it, but I do feel like he's getting to that point, just age-wise, where he needs, you know, these different things to make friends his age. So I really want to just make sure that I'm providing him opportunities. I think sometimes, you know, so many people, they homeschool until high school, and my goal is to homeschool through high school. So I want to make sure that I'm giving him the opportunities for friendships and growth and just the experiences like prom and graduation and all of those things. I mean, not graduation so much. My oldest daughter had a beautiful graduation when we graduated her, but I want him to have experiences and I want him to have opportunities for friendships, because honestly, that's probably just my biggest concern for next year, is just making sure that I put him in environments where he has those opportunities to build those friendships, especially since he's going to be a teenager come the summertime. That is insane. It's crazy how fast time flies. So that's basically where I'm at in the homeschool planning area at this particular moment. Let me know down below where you're at. Do you already have your year planned? Are you like me and you're like, man, I'm just trying to survive this year? I would love to hear it either way. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Hit that red subscribe button. Next month, we are going to start kicking off our collaboration series where we start sharing what we are going to be using for each individual curriculum. So make sure that you check back for those videos, and I will see you again later. Bye.